Doon, 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 doon. What up, everybody? Welcome to another show, man. It's Monday, NBA Talk with Jay. We have our guy Rob Veno here with us, guys. Love Mondays. I call it Money Making Mondays here, guys. So make sure you guys checking out our guy Rob. What's up with you, Rob? Everything cool with you, my brother?
Yeah, everything's good, Jay. Hectic weekend. Obviously, 4 days worth of that NCAA tournament will, make you feel like you've been in a 12 round, 15 rounder. But a couple of days to take a breather. We got NBA down to the last 10 games here, Jay, which we're going to talk about it a little bit. But for me, it's a little bit of a different approach. We'll see how you feel. Maybe we line up. Maybe we got opinions that help each other out. But 6 games. Let's get to it, buddy.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. I think I have a feel on the first 5 games. I'd say I have a good feel for it. The Kings Jazz, I don't really have a good feel for it, but it's all business here on the show. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit the like button if you really like the show. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. You can also join the channel as well. It's only $4 if you'd like to join. Become an exclusive all-star of the J Money family, my guys. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. It's all business here, guys. This first game up, we're headed over here to the streets of Philly here, where we have the 76ers laying 8.5 points at the house versus the Chicago Bulls in this one. Over and under sitting at 225 in this one, Rob. We know that Joel Embiid is the leading candidate right now for MVP. It looks like he's really going for it. Last game, he didn't go over his props. They've been blowing teams out as well. He hadn't had to play in the fourth quarter in this one, but some tells me that this one might be not as necessarily as easy of a blowout in this one. I still lean Embiid points and rebounds over in this one, Rob. How are you looking at this game?
Well, I think it's hard not to start any 76er handicap if you're a prop guy right there with Joel Embiid. And absolutely, Jay, just being in this area, not only is Joel going for this, but his teammates want it for him just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
James Harden wants it for him. Tyrese Maxey, I saw him interviewed the other night here locally. They all want it for Joel. So it's funny, too, how he closed the gap so quickly, right? I feel like 2-3 weeks ago, maybe he's like plus $4, $4.50, and now all of a sudden he's your favorite. So certainly more than capable. I mean, it's not an easy matchup. Like you say, Vucevic is not the easiest guy to go up against. Not that Joel can't have his way, but it'll be a lot more difficult than some of the other guys that he's had here. I'm taking a look at these standings last 10 games, Jay, and it's, these games are important for Chicago. And it is, I don't know if you brought it to my attention or if our buddy Ski Profit brought it to my attention, but the addition of Patrick Beverley does, the more I look at it, the more it seems like he's lighting a little bit of a fire under these guys. There's some bit of unitedness for this team now that maybe we didn't see first half of the year. So I think Chicago's playing really well. They've got scorers in positions where the Sixers don't necessarily defend well. I wouldn't be surprised to see if PJ Tucker doesn't play, it might be a blessing. Because having McDaniels out on the floor defensively in this one, when you have DeRozan and Levine, he's a better option defensively in this game for sure. I kind of lean Chicago with points, but I did not get there. I'm way more interested in Joel props this game. I do think that if you want to play points or points and rebounds, it's probably another night where he does big things. And again, like I say, just knowing from listening to Harden and Maxey that they're going to get him the ball every single opportunity they can in advantageous positions. So maybe I'll look Joel lay off the game. I'm not thrilled with the total. The Bulls have been a little bit more of an under team on occasion here. Very difficult to figure total wise, Jay, are the Bulls. So I know Philly scores. Last thing I'll say real quick, and then I'll let you have it. If anybody's interested in Philly team total props, I wouldn't be mad at you there either because they just seem to score each and every night. They get easy shots. They're extremely efficient, even though they're not the fastest tempo team.
Exactly. Yeah, no, it's a good point, man. Sixers red hot right now. They've won 8 straight games. They've won 9 out of the last 10 as well. 4-1 ATS last 6 games. 7-3 ATS last 10. So Philly's been balling, man. They do come home off a little mini 3-game road trip in Elwyn, man. So this is 4th game in 6 nights for the Sixers. The Bulls come in here off 3 straight home games as well. This is the first of a home and home series. They play in Philly tonight. Next game they play in Chicago, guys. So like I said, when I'm looking, it's a crazy spot for for the Sixers as well. Come home off a 3-game road trip, come home for one game, and then they go head back out on the road for three more road games. Or let me see how many it is in totality, guys. So yeah, they'll head out for a 4-game road trip after this game. Like I say, starting with Chicago. Then they have Golden State, Phoenix, and Denver after this. So big stretch coming up here for the Sixers in this one. Like I say, personally, if I'm betting this game, I want Embiid points over the 33.5, and I want the points and rebounds over, I believe it's 44.5. So that would be my top look in this game. That's the only way I'm betting it. Feels like a tad too high for the Sixers here to land 8.5, even though they have been balling. We know the Bulls need their games a lot more. So you tell me that the team that needs to gain for playoff position is getting 8.5. Personally, if I'm looking at the spread, I'm only looking towards the Bulls in this one and in the last game as well. They finally got over the hump. I believe they had lost 14 straight to the 76ers. Finally got over that hump January 6th. We was all over Bulls in there when they won in Philly, 126-112. So I don't know if it'll be like that, but as far as taking the 8.5, I could only look towards the Bulls here. And then if I'm betting a props, would be Joel Embiid points over and points and rebounds over with this one, my guys. Next game up, let's go over here to the streets of Charlotte here, Rob. We got the Hornets getting 2 points at the house versus the Indiana Pacers, my brother. How are we looking at this one?
I looked at it from an over perspective, Halliburton or not, Jay. Neither team is playing defense. And again, we don't consider these teams to be defensive juggernauts by any stretch. However, Indiana seemingly played with a purpose this second half, even after the All-Star break, a little bit of a purpose. The standings show that mathematically they're still alive for that final play-in spot, 1.5 games behind the Bulls. Should the Bulls go down tonight, Indiana wins tonight, all of a sudden Indiana's only a half a game out of a play-in spot. So they've got a little to play for here. But again, defensively, they've been absolutely horrendous. 61.5% field goal percentage allowed to the Sixers the other night. Was there anybody on the court? That's crazy. 52-8 before that, 48 before that. And if I go down Charlotte's numbers, they're the same. Nobody's playing any defense here. Mark Williams is not involved. You know what happens when Mark Williams doesn't play center? That means Nick Richards. And Nick Richards is not a good option at center. So Charlotte's small ball, Pacers small ball, even without Halliburton. I think TJ McConnell had a triple-double the other night. So he's more than capable at point guard. He's not Halliburton, don't get me wrong, but he's more than capable to set these other guys up. I see Benedict Mathurin. I think I looked before, lifted up to questionable now in this particular game, and we'll see if he goes. But to me, 234.5 was too little, Jay. So I looked at it, thought I was going to see 240, didn't see 240, so played it at 234, and that's the way I would recommend this game, up and over.
Yeah, I couldn't talk you off there, my brother. I could not talk you off. Yeah, but the way I'm looking at this game, sneaky look here, man. And I hadn't bet this. I hadn't bet anything today, but like I said, I do have 5 looks on 5 games, 5 strong fields, in my opinion. But if I'm betting this game, it's got to be Hornets in the first quarter. This fits my system here. 5th straight home game for the Hornets in this one, coming off 4 straight losses as well. They come off 2 days rest. You look at the Pacers. 7 out of this will be their 9th road game in their last 11 games, guys. So they've 8th road game in their last 11 games. So like I say, the Pacers been literally traveling all over the place. They had 3 straight road games. Then they came home for 1 game versus Philly. Now back out on the road for a 4-game road trip in this one. We know the Hornets have been losing games, probably trying to tank the best that they can. But this is also a double revenge spot as well. So they've lost both meetings to the Pacers here this season. Like I say, I'm not so sure that they're going to get the win here, but Hornets in the first quarter would be my top look in this game. Let me see what's the line in this one. Let me see. So Hornets in the first quarter would be +0.5 in this one, guys. That would be my top look in this game. That's my top feel on this game. Hornets, 5th straight home game. I could only look towards the Charlotte Hornets in the first quarter here, +0.5. My top play in this game would be the Hornets first quarter, +0.5 in this one. Could not talk you off that over as well, Rob. Even with it, and possibly Benedict Mathurin. And I believe Benedict Mathurin is questionable here. Could possibly come back, although I don't think that he's probably not going to play in this one. Pacers don't look like they kind of in between if they want to make the play-in tournament or not, my guys. So Hornets first quarter is the only way I could look in that one. Let's go over here to the streets of New York here, Rob. Knicks laying 8.5 points at the house versus the Wolves. Anthony Edwards is questionable. He will not play in this game. I don't understand why they like playing with us like that, Rob. They had him questionable last game. He was in a freaking walking boot, man. Like, they got to stop. If a guy's out, he's actually injured. it's no problem with just saying it, guys. I mean, I understand trying to keep it close vest and not trying to let people know too much, but come on, man. Edwards is probably not going to play for the next couple of games in this one. Definitely not playing tonight. So if you like the Knicks, you probably want to take it now. If you like the Wolves, you just hold off on this one, Rob.
Yeah, I'll pile on, Jay. I'll pile on, and I'll use one of your. I won't curse, but
Say
what in
whatever.
the world are we doing here for Minnesota on the injury report? Because aside from Anthony Edwards, one more time they're going to tell us Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid are questionable. These two guys were questionable Friday. They played. They played their normal minutes. They played back-to-back on Saturday. Questionable. They played again their normal minutes. So if they're good enough to play back-to-backs on Friday, Saturday, day off on Sunday, I got no faith that Rudy Gobert and Naz Reid are anything close to questionable. They'll be on the floor for sure. Minnesota needs wins. But the Anthony Edwards situation is the reason why I'm on Knicks here. I like Knicks. Again, Knicks first half, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. They're the best first half team in the NBA. And without Edwards, obviously, Minnesota lacks a little bit of offense here. And the Knicks have kind of righted the ship. It looked for a minute there like the Knicks were going south. But then they come back with a couple of big wins, blast Portland, and then beat Denver the other day. So I think the Knicks, got over that little mini slump. And remember, Jalen Brunson was hurt for a few of those games. Now that he's back, they're running like they were running before. So I think Knicks minus 4.5 is a good look. Can't blame anybody if they want to play Knicks full game. They don't tend to give leads away. But Minnesota's a team that's scrappy, and I hate to be on minus 8.5 at the end of the game. Knicks up 10. Minnesota fights their way back. So I don't want to be there. I'd rather be on Knicks first half. That's the way I played it.
I'm right there with you, Rob. First off, I think this line goes up to 10 when Edwards is finally ruled out. Like I said, I mean, he just got out of the walking book. He still has inflammation, still has swelling. I don't think that there's a way that Anthony Edwards is going to play, but it is good the fact that he doesn't have a major injury, right? So at first, I'm like, okay, maybe you want to start fading the Wolves. They know that Edwards is going to be out for a while. Season probably over. Now you have confidence. Okay, now Edwards might be coming back in a couple games, right? We're still not out of this. We've lost 5 of the last 6 games, but we're still in the playoff hunt, right? So I think the Timberwolves have somewhat, I guess you could say, kind of false, kind of false hope here, or at least a little bit more confidence than they did in the last game, thinking that Edwards might be out for the rest of the season. Now that you see the injuries too bad, okay, guys, come on, let's play. Let's pick up one. Let's try to get one here. So personally, I'm not laying the points with the Knicks. If I'm betting this game, I'm waiting to the last minute, and I'm betting the Timberwolves at plus the double digits in this one. And when Edwards get out, what do you see teams do as well? Okay, Anthony Edwards, okay, this is going to be an easy game, right? Not so fast. Then they have a big game coming up versus the Heat coming up on next for the Knicks in this one. I lean Timberwolves here plus the points. They definitely need this game more. Knicks are in the playoffs. They can kick their feet up here, my guys. I lean Timberwolves here plus the points. Like I say, personally, I would wait for Anthony Edwards to get rolled out. You'll get a plus 9.5, a plus 10. That's when I think it's time to pounce on the Timberwolves and howl with them, my guys. So I'm only looking towards the Timberwolves full game in this particular spot, guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Houston here. Got the Rockets getting 11 points at the house versus the Golden State Warriors in this one, Rob. Damn, I felt so dumb after the last game, but I really shouldn't have. If any game goes from +5 to a -2, I mean, you made a damn good bet. You have to live with your results on that one, but it still pissed me off so much. But Grizzlies came to play. It is what it is. I took a big L on the Warriors in that one. Now they're landing 11 points on a road in Houston in this one, Rob. Do you trust the Warriors to get off that 11-game road win streak, or do you think them if they're going to blow out a team in their first win on the road, my guy?
Wow, it's crazy that we're even talking like this, right, Jay? We're talking about Golden State right now as a 36-36 team, and we're seriously wondering if they can beat the Rockets in Houston. That's crazy to me that could be the case, but it is. I don't trust them. Every single time they play on the road, you think, oh, this might be the game they break out. Oh, this might be the game they break out. It never is. And we're 71 games into the season. So, to watch and BS with buddies and say, yeah, Golden State's going to break. That's one thing. To go to the window with cash and say, yeah, Golden State's going to cover. Not me. Houston's in the second of back-to-backs. Had a good one last night with New Orleans. New Orleans got them in the second of that 2-game set that they played. Houston been playing really, really good ball. Up
Mhm.
until that point, just felt like New Orleans still has desire to win games, and they needed it, and they got it. So now we'll see. They didn't list an injury report yet, right? I think Houston hasn't submitted yet. I don't know. They've been pretty clean injury-wise for a while now. I don't know that they'll rest anybody. We'll have to see where that's concerned. I'm at a kind of torn here, Jay. I think the easiest way out of this mess is just to follow the numbers that have Golden State playing nothing but overs on the road, like
Mhm.
26-7 over the
No
total on the road. And I
defense.
mean, lately, not just over, like way over. No defense, a lot of shooting. So I don't know. I didn't play it, guys, but if you're out there looking, 237.5 Golden State has made look small most of the season
Mhm.
on the road, and Houston can make it look that way as well. I think Jalen Green had 40 last night, if I remember the box score right. So they're still playing with a lot of heart. Give Steven Silas some credit as the head coach for at least having these guys out there with a desire to win games, even though they're lottery ping pong ball happy at this point in time. Maybe they stop winning now. Last 10, let's blow these last 10 because we've been
Mhm.
playing too hard. And that could be the case here.
No, I'm still not giving Silas credit though. I still think he's a horrible coach. The players though, they have been balling. They're playing a little bit of defense. I've been watching the Rockets the last 3 games, guys. I think they cover this number plus 11. My heavy leans in this game. The field that I have on this game is Rockets first half for a full game in this one. I did not trust the Warriors. I don't care what the money came on them last game as well. Like I say, the Rockets aren't the Rockets of before, guys. This team is 4-0-1, 4-1-1 ATS in their last 6 games. You know what I'm saying? They beat the Celtics, the Lakers, and the Pelicans in 3 straight games. This is their sixth straight home game. So you could argue that this is a kiss the wives and kids goodbye game here. But these are young guys. They're not even really. They're not. I don't even think. I'd be interested to look this up. I don't even think many players on this team are even married. You see what I'm saying? But they do have girlfriends, guys. But still here. I only lean towards the Rockets here. I feel like this is a game they've been turning up versus the big opponents here. They're going to look at the Warriors. They're not going to say, okay, let's just not come to play here. Jalen Green, Kevin Porter Jr., these guys, only guys seen on the injury report here, Rob, was Jayshawn Tate, that he's game time decision. But other than that, if you've been watching the Rockets, this is not the Rockets of mid-season here where they're trying to lose every single game. This team is coming to play. Jabari Smith Jr. Balling. They got guys coming off the bench as well. So I'm only looking towards the Rockets here, first half and full game. Obviously, it is a back-to-back, but they didn't have to travel anywhere. 6 straight home game. They're shooting in the same gyms. I think they have the advantage over the Warriors tonight. No way in hell I'm laying 11 points with the Warriors tonight. Could they blow them out? Finally get over the speed bump? I always say when they did get over there, they're going to blow a team out by 20 on the road, but I don't care. The Rockets have been playing too well to be getting double digits in this spot. Rockets first half, full game. That's the only way I'm looking at this one. And couldn't talk you off that over there as well, Rob. Although the Rockets have been playing some defense. Where I'm watching them, they've been playing a little bit of defense, man. So for whatever that's worth, my guys. Let's get over here to the streets of Memphis here, man. This line is moving all over the place in this one, Rob. And I don't really care, to be honest with you. Grizzlies land 3. It's really up to 4.5 right now here, Rob. Grizzlies land 4.5 at the house versus the Mavs. What do you think happens in this game, Rob? You know it's Monday, right?
Yeah, and reason behind that, Jay, I mean, John Morant's not playing, been ruled out.
Mm-hmm.
And from what I saw, correct me if I'm wrong, I saw Luka likely in this game. Is he not going to play in this game?
They're saying not. They're not optimistic, but he's not
Okay.
ruled out. He's not ruled out.
Right.
I think they're playing with him. I think this is an injury report manipulation game. That's exactly what I think it is.
Yeah. We need to have Adam Silver on this show so we can rip him one time, Jay, for this injury report manipulation. I started the day liking the Mavericks, so I'm going to stick to that point. I like the Mavericks. The Mavericks seem to match up well with the Grizzlies when they play them. And with everybody back, that was a big win the other night. Kyrie led, Maxi Kleba drains a 3 against the Lakers. They're all but healthy at this point in time, with the exception of the big guy, Luka. Hopefully he does go tonight. If he doesn't, I still think 4.5 is worth taking here. There's a little bit of there's not a little bit. There's a lot of defensive discrepancy between these two teams. Memphis a far better defensive team. However, in Memphis does not always shoot straight, and you don't trust them. And I don't know that Memphis, in all honesty, Jay, as good as their overall defensive statistics may be, I don't know that they can defend Dallas and the 3-point shots that these guys get, the open looks that they get when Hardaway and company are knocking these things down. And Maxey have Maxey back is big, because if there's one guy that can play a little bit of defense, he tries, and he does come up with a couple of plays. So I'm going to stick to that side because Dallas is in this heat of the playoff battle. You know, I read a lot this morning how Memphis wants it, and Memphis wants to be the 2 seed and all that stuff. I still think the game is far more important to Dallas. When you look through the West, and look at Dallas in the 6 hole right now. They're a playoff team. Don't have to go through that play-in. They want to remain that way. Who wants to go through a play-in if you don't have to? But there's only 2 games separating them from number 12. You can't slip up at this point in time. 6 teams crowded within 2 games. So I put the emphasis of motivation, which when I started to talk prior to us going over games, and I was saying these last 10 games, I treat a little bit differently. I'm starting to treat these games. You'll notice I'm not rattling off a whole bunch of statistics here in this segment because to me, I'm pushing these statistics to the side and counting motivation and need. Need doesn't always mean you get the game. Right. We bet these things enough to know. Just because you need it doesn't mean you get it. But I think Dallas, when confident, when healthy, is every bit as good as Memphis to me. I mean, I would, in a 7-game series, I don't think Memphis would run away from them. So I'm going to try him tonight, maybe plus the 4 point. I'll check it to Luka's status even more. But as I talk here, Jay, I mean, I see one spot go back down to 4. So again, this injury, people are out there getting this info by the second, and they're betting Memphis, then they're betting Dallas, then they're betting Memphis, then they're betting Dallas. So 4.5 might be the peak of what we're going to get here. So if you like Dallas, my best recommendation, take them now.
No, that's a fact right there. Well, first thing, this is the first part of the cap. You need to see if Jaren Jackson Jr. is going to play, because I think the Grizzlies defense will be light years different if he's not out there. So he's questionable with calf soreness. What do we always say? Things with groin, hamstring, calf, Achilles, any type of soreness there, I'd lean more likely for him not to play in this one. So when you see Triple J pop up calf soreness, that tells me most likely he's not going to play. It's not guaranteed, right? And obviously on the Mavs side, you need to see who's going to play, Kyrie or Luka. One of them are going to play, one of them are going to sit. That's simple. They were making it seem like Luka was going to come back in this one and Kyrie was going to sit. Now I can't tell you, they have a big game somewhat, even though this is double revenge and this is a division opponent. The next game versus the Warriors has a lot of implications on their playoff seeding, guys. So I do worry about a little bit of the Mavs look ahead here, but I'm only looking towards the Mavs in this one. This is what I'd like to see. I'd like to see Triple J. This is what you'd want to see if you want to take the Mavs. Triple J out, Luka out, Kyrie in. This team is 3-0 with Kyrie playing and Luka not in. You know what I'm saying? Luka out. They play a lot faster with Kyrie. Luka kind of slows up the tempo. You see what I'm saying? So that's how I'm looking at this game, guys. I want Luka out. I want Kyrie in, Tim Hardaway Jr. in, the rest of the guys, Triple J out. Then the Mavs will win this game. It doesn't really matter what the line is doing right now. It's which team is going to win. I know that the Grizzlies ball out at the house, but they are coming in here off a letdown. Remember, they had the overtime game where they came back versus Spurs. Then the next game versus the Warriors, they said it didn't take much to turn up for that one. It didn't matter about rest. None of that. They always going to turn up versus the Warriors. So what do you say? You can get the Grizz are due for a letdown before they face the Warriors and after, in my opinion, in this one. Personally, I would not lay the 4.5 with the Grizzlies here. I always tell people you can do whatever you want. If you like the Grizzlies, I would maybe wait to see if Triple J is playing. Then you have a good chance, in my opinion. But without Triple J, the defensive player of the year, and missing Adams and Brandon Clark, you're going to be down too many big guys, in my opinion. Going to have to probably start Santi Aldama or Roddy. That's going to weaken your bench as well. I think the Mavs get it done. They just need Kyrie in here, which he's questionable as well, and Luka out, which he looks like he's closer to doubtful, man. So right now, it's really tough to see exactly who's playing, but I'm only looking towards the Mavs in this game, guys. And it's Monday as well. And Kleba had just mentioned, Rob, that they just lost to this team a week ago as well, two straight times where they didn't have Luka or Kyrie. So they just need one of those guys in there to help out with the rest of the team. And like I say, a Triple J sits, that would make it a whole lot better there. But just keep in mind, guys, calf soreness is leaning towards doubtful. You don't want to have a major injury to Triple J right now, right before the playoffs, guys. So only looking towards the Mavs in this one, guys. Last game up here, Rob. We're going to the streets of Utah here. Jazz getting 6.5 points now versus the Kings in this one. How you like this game? I think the Lauri Markkanen did just get ruled out, my guy.
And 2 things here, Jay. I'll step back a second here because you talked about calf soreness. As somebody who had never had an injured calf till about a month ago. I strained a calf muscle. They're not easy. I mean, to be an NBA player on a sore calf muscle, I mean, I'm not an NBA player, and obviously I don't get the treatment that they get, but they're no joke. They're no joke. I mean, it's not a tear, but strain, it's painful. So rest is good. It's the only thing that it's like a hamstring. It's the only thing that heals it. And the second thing is, while you were talking, I looked it up real quick here, and I know this won't change as long as only one or the other, Kyrie or Luka, play in this game. But Dallas's team total for this game is 111.5. To me, that seems so low, especially if Kyrie's the guy that goes, because we know Memphis plays at pace. Kyrie plays at pace. Memphis has allowed more than 111.5 3 straight games now. So as good, if Jaren Jackson Jr. is not involved, defense even weaker. I don't know. To me, that may be the best look of all in this game. Dallas to put up at least 112 in that game as long as Kyrie's on the floor. Sacramento, Utah, without Larry Markkinen, I don't want any part of Utah. End of story, to tell you the truth. We haven't seen Jordan Clarkson for a while now. Colin Sexton, obviously, we probably won't see him for the remainder of the year. But without him, meaning Larry Markkinen, I don't want them. And Sacramento, you know what? After the break, I thought they were going to be a fade. I thought, they're wearing this bullseye on their chest. They're the number 3 seed. People didn't take them serious. Now they're going to take them serious. Sacramento answers the bell every single time I look, Jay. It's like 43-27 right now. It seems like no matter what the situation is, I try to apply it as a negative or a fade to Sacramento, like they're in a bad spot, and they come through. Whether it be back-to-backs, whether it be back-to-backs, whatever the case is where it shouldn't favor the Kings, they play through it. If we don't want to give Steven Silas any credit, then let's give Mike Brown credit, because the fact that he has this team
coach of the year
in this, I mean, and talk about it. They're pushing for the 2 seed. They know it. They want to be a 2 seed. If you can get a team that's coming off a play-in series rather than a team that's been rested, a real play-in team, and that's the difference between 2 and 3. That's what you want. I can only look their way. It's not the best position for them. I mean, let's face it. It's at Brooklyn, at Washington, and now at Utah. They off in between, but east to almost west to Rocky Mountain time where you are. It's a little bit of travel, but again, I don't want to fade Sacramento at all right now, to tell you the truth, because they just keep coming through.
Yeah, no, I'm not going against the Kings. You couldn't pay me to go against. You could tell me here, I got $100 for you to bet against the Kings. I'm taking your 100 and putting it in my pocket. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so Kings are red hot right now. They've won 8 out of their last 10 as well. They've covered 6 of 7. I'm not going against them. They do have the Celtics on deck tomorrow, so it is the last game of a 4-game road trip. 4th game in 6 nights, so I would travel. Didn't have Celtics on deck tomorrow, but when you're resting Markkinen and Nelwyn, it just kind of tells you that the Jazz are not trying to win this game as well. They're also coming off a win versus the Boston Celtics and Nelwyn. The Jazz have actually covered 5 straight games. So like I say, I want no parts of them without their 2 best players, Clarkson and Markkinen. So it's a really tough game for me. I'm only looking towards the Kings in this one. They do have the Celtics on deck. It's not necessarily a bet-on situation, but my advice would be to take the Kings. That's the only way that I can look in this one, the Sacramento side in this one, Rob. But that's the show, my brother. It's time to get out of here. It's time to recap the free picks, my brother. What you liking on tonight's card, Rob?
Real quick, I'll send the folks over to wagertalk.com for $9 Monday. Every time I'm on with you, Jay, it's $9 Monday for those interested in checking out selection packages for an extremely reduced price. You can do that over at wagertalk.com. If you're interested in analysis on games, much like what you see here on Jay's shows, Monday through Friday, wagertalk.com. Hey, we even feature Jay over there as well at times in the NBA. So once again, you can get all the media content for free just by dropping your email address in at wagertalk.com. If you're interested in my picks, college and NBA, they're over there as well, wagertalk.com on my homepage. For today, Jay, for purpose of the show, I'm going to go back. Second game we talked about. I just don't know how Indiana Charlotte stays under 233.5 in this game unless there's ridiculously bad shooting. Indiana, to me, never really goes through bad shooting spells. Charlotte, yes, a little bit. Indiana, they seem to get good shots and score. They're pretty efficient offensively. So 233.5 to me, with these defenses playing as miserably as they are right now, with the fact that Mark Williams is not in there to defend the rim for the Charlotte Hornets. Indiana's going to take shots at the rim against Nick Richards. So Give me that game over 233.5. I think there's probably a couple of huge scoring quarters in that one that'll help us. So I'm going to play it that way. Best bet or official is what we called it on your show. Official. Indiana Charlotte over 233.5.
I like it, man. First, before I recap my looks in this one, let's play this video, man. If I can get it pulled up, quick little 30-second commercial from our guys over at Wager Talk. It's about the MLB guide, my guys. Just give me 1 second. We finna play this. Trying to let it process, guys. But nice little video from Ruby here, letting you guys know about the MLB guide on Wager Talk, my guy.
Play ball. Hot off the press, handicappers from Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and the Gold Sheet have collaborated on the 2023 Wager Talk Media MLB Betting Guide. From World Series odds to regular season win totals and everything in between, this year's betting guide features previews on all 30 teams, all 6 divisions, and season-long awards like the Cy Young, MVP, and Rookie of the Year. Each preview contains key roster acquisitions and departures to help you get up to speed before opening day. Visit wt.buzz/MLB23 to download your free guide, and we'll see you in the batter's box.
Hey, it's all free, guys. If you like to bet baseball, I don't, but if you like to, it's a lot of good info over there in the baseball guide, guys. No bets for me today right now, but I'm telling you what I'm looking at. Lean Bulls plus the 8.5. Lean Joel Embiid over his points and and rebounds. If I'm playing the Hornets game, I'm only taking the Hornets in the first quarter. I do believe that's the top looking at game. Wolves game, I do like the Wolves in this spot. I would wait till Anthony Edwards get ruled out, maybe get a plus 10 with the Wolves, and then I like the Wolves there plus a 10. Rockets plus 11. First half, I'm only looking towards the Rockets. If you just look at their team, you're going to say this team is trash. But if you watch them play, you know that the Rockets are playing a lot better right now, and they could actually win a few games, and it won't hurt them that much. So only looking towards the Rockets, and they'll win. Couldn't talk you off the over. Mavs, if you get Kyrie in there, Luka out, and Triple J out, I would definitely play Mavs on the money line, and they'll win. Definitely got to wait to see what's going on with that one. And Kings Jazz, no look for me on that one. I know I'm not looking towards the Jazz whatsoever, guys. So those are my top looks on the card. Like I said, I hadn't bet a single thing yet, but always trying to get some cash. I'm here to bring you sports betting advice. Me and my guy Rob Veno, like I say, 5 games that I have top looks on. The Kings Jazz, I just have nothing on that one, man. But y'all make sure y'all go checking out the MLB guide. It's Us Against the Bookies. If you like the show, hit the like button. Had like 723 people watching live. Hit the like button if you like the show. Go check out my guy Rob as well over at Wager Talk, guys. That's the show. We will win. Let's get some cash. We out, man. Back tomorrow.